Hello again, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny content related video. But firstly, I'd like to start by saying sorry guys for the lack of uploads this week. The last 3 days I didn't upload anything thanks to life and me having to get some stuff done that was really important, and I had to attend to those things first. But also, I would like to say that the upload schedule is back on track, and yes, we will be uploading daily videos. So if you want to come back to the channel, make sure to subscribe, or if you're already subscribed, thank you guys for staying on the channel even though I didn't upload anything for the last 3 days. Now, to get started in this video, earlier this week you might have remembered this image in relation to a video of a new subclass created by the Destiny community and known as Destiny fan artist HStego. He created the Warlock concept of Decay and also was rocking the 4th elemental damage known as Decay. Now, this Decay 4th elemental damage is also a fan-made idea. It does have some science backing it on the Bungie.net forums, but we can't really officially say that it's in the game because it isn't. It's just an idea, and that's what we're going to be going over in this video. The elemental damage has a background behind in the darkness, and that green aura that the Hive have would also be an idea or a representation of the 4th elemental damage Decay. Today we are going to be breaking down HStego's idea of the 4th elemental subclass for the Hunter, known as the Bay Runner or the Decay Hunter. Another well-made drawing by HStego shows off this amazing concept with a hunter bearing some dark armor and a glowing green aura shield and a sword in the other arm underneath his cloak. It has a really nice concept, and it has a really nice well-made feel to it, and is really going to show off what the subclass is about and the perks that it's going to have that we're going to be going over. To start off, we're going to talk about the supers, the different versions of the super, and also some side notes that HStego left on the right hand side of this image. Now, Relativity is going to be the normal super, which is create a huge sphere in which time runs slower for everyone while you are slightly faster. The side note read to the right is a rather large area of effect. Time is slowed down by 50% in this area. Now fire rate, charge time, and movement of both your allies and your enemies are increased. Example would be the ideal time to kill with the Monte Carlo is a 0.9 seconds. In the Relativity sphere, it would be 1.35 seconds. You move 10% to give you the actual feeling of you using your super. No effects of your fire rate or charges are affecting you. Shared Understanding is the second version of this, and it's up to 2 allies can keep their movement while in the area of Relativity. A maximum of 2 of your allies, the ones who stand the closest to you upon activation, can move as happily around as you did before. Fire rate and charges are still slowed down. Ground Zero Kelvin is the third version of this, and it almost stops time completely. Your super only lasts 5 seconds in a smaller area. Time freezes effect, but only 5 seconds. If you activate it while someone jumps, they might hit the ground at the end of your super, which is pretty intense. New Reality is going to be the 4th and final version of the super, and that's bullets and projectiles of your enemies travel significantly slower. Gravitation does not affect your foes. Now, the important concept of this is using this version in PvP. That's a little broken, and this is going to explain it over to the side note over to the right. Since most bullets in PvP are hit scan, so no travel time, this would almost have no effect in PvP, except sidearms, QBB, and Lord of Wolves, and a few more occasionally. In PvE, however, you could dodge a lot more of incoming projectiles since those have indeed travel time. The gravity means nothing for your foes until they have left the ground. Jumps in PvP, staggering hard hits in PvE. Once they are up, they will just float in midair. This is really cool, and it actually doesn't seem very broken in PvP anymore once you actually read his side note. Moving on, we're going to talk about grenades. I'm going to lie, but grenades are probably going to be my most favorite part about this subclass that HStego ended up creating. Teleporter grenades teleport where the grenade landed and immediately execute 2 spins with your sword, lower range and throw. Now, that sword would not be the sword equipped to your heavy. That would be the sword based on the subclass. You would actually pull out a random sword and spin around 2 times. That's the sword based on the subclass, and the hunter will actually pull that out of a sheath that's probably being carried on their side. Another thing is portal grenade. A grenade that sticks to surfaces, foes that walk through teleport to your initial position as the time you threw it. So wherever you throw this grenade, it will stick to a wall. Wherever you were standing when you threw it is going to be the second portal spot where an enemy will come through. If you use this in PvP, I don't really think people are going to be stupid enough to actually go through the portal, but if they were, you could be waiting with a shotgun or a sniper rifle, maybe even a machine gun or a rocket launcher, and it would be a really nice ambush method. Now Aegis is going to be the last and final grenade, and that is hold L1 to create a sphere that pushes enemies away and protects you for 4 seconds or less. Contact causes damage. So it's not really actually a grenade, it's going to be you holding something in your hand that's similar to a grenade, but when you hold L1, it's going to create a sphere that enemies are pushed away and will protect you for 4 seconds. That damage that's pushed onto your enemies is also going to be a contact damage. So really nice idea, and now we're going to be moving on to the different jumps that this hunter has. So my second favorite thing to talk about is probably going to be the jumps other than the grenades, and that is the Atom Walk, which allows you to run in midair after leaving the ground. The only question that I have is if you do leave the ground and run in midair, can you press the jump button again to fall to the ground, or do you have to wait until the run time is over? This is probably going to be problematic in the PvP zones, because if you are getting shot at while running across midair, it is an easy target for you, and with any other ability to jump, you are able to fall to the ground whenever you want. Now, moving on to the wider field, we have upgrades to Atom Walk, which allow for better directional control while running in midair. Then we have a longer field, which allows you to run across midair for a longer duration of time, which then again also is problematic if you can't fall to the ground whenever you want. So it should allow you to do the jump button again to fall to the ground. Now, additional jump would probably fix this, which allows you to gain an additional jump after running across midair. So if you jump in the air, run across midair, and if you're getting shot at, you can jump up again, then fall to the ground, which would probably be beneficial in PvP, and the additional jump perk would probably be the one that I go with in PvP. Now let's move on to some more perks that are probably going to interest you with this subclass. We have Slay and Pray, which is increased melee attack speed. Goes faster the longer you use your melee. Melee kills charge your abilities. Ludus Particle is for Atom Walk is slower and lasts a second longer. Controls are improved, and you can aim down the sight while you're Atom Walking, which would be good for PvP, allowing you to defend yourself while you're in the sky. On the next thing, we've got On the Run, which is increased hipfire accuracy. Headshot kills from hip firing create spheres of light for your allies, which would be good for a gun that has hip fire and also increased hip fire accuracy. Increase that even more, allowing you to get more kills by hip firing. If you do get headshots, then obviously your allies would get more spheres of light. Then we've got Angel of Decay, which is your primary has a chance of bonus precision damage, and you are harder to spot while airborne. Not too sure on which one I would want to use more, the Ludus Particle or the Angel of Decay. But moving on even further, we've also got Perpetua Mobile, which kills with your super, charge your next super. Then we've also got better use for it. Parries let you steal ammo from your attacker, gain an additional charge. Now, if you do use parry, we are going to be going over that momentarily, so on to the next photo. So that ability parry we have to go over. So hold R1 to block an incoming melee attack with your shield and then stun the attacker. It's also got 3 perks that you can add to it, one at a time, to make that even stronger, depending on your playstyle. So we're going to go over the playstyles, different ideas of the ways you could use it, and also what they actually mean. First, the sword counter is a counter with a very powerful swing of your sword against the attacker after a successful parry. We'll go over that a little more momentarily. Then we've got shield counter. Bash your shield against the ground to cause damage in an area around you after a successful parry. Then we've got grenade counter. Get an additional free grenade charge for a few seconds after a successful parry. Moving on to the sword counter again, we have this ability to pull out a sword and use a sword swing to kill the attacker. But I will say this, it's not a heavy sword, it's not even a weapon that's equipped to you, it's just an ability to where you pull a sword out randomly that's used like a heavy weapon, and it's basically like a free heavy weapon use, but you don't even have to have a heavy sword equipped to use this, which would be good because if you are running rocket launchers, you still have the ability to use a heavy sword for certain aspects of the game. Also, if you do parry an awful lot, then you basically get free heavy ammo whenever you want, which is a nice thought to actually add into the game and into PvP zones. You'd actually have to be careful of using your melees, especially you warlocks. Make sure you watch out for this. Then you've got shield counter. Obviously you'd bash it against the ground and then it would do an area effect damage, causing damage around you to kill the target that was attacking you. You parry him, he gets a little stunned, and then you use your shield to bash on the ground. It would damage him, but it would also damage anyone else around you that was trying to do damage to you as well during this parry episode. Then you've got the grenade counter, which is probably my favorite because of the simple fact is if you parry and you get a stun on someone already, you might as well just use a shotgun to kill them. And to gain an additional grenade charge for a few seconds after a successful parry, it'd be nice to throw that additional grenade. Whichever grenade you use, I would obviously use the Aegis grenade first because that allows you to generate an orb in front of you that would allow you to protect yourself and do damage to people that are in front of you, and it also pushes them back for a few seconds. So I like that idea more. So let's move on to the final descriptions of all of this stuff. So this image is important to talk about because it shows all the side notes of certain different perks that HStego thought would be overpowered if he didn't explain them even further. So before we think that this subclass is overpowered in PvP or PvE, or if it's just underpowered in any way, we might want to go over all of these side notes. So the first one that we want to go over is sword. The sword is not your normal melee, your melee charge, nor is it a part of your super. It is involved in some perks and can therefore be a part of your neutral game. The sword deals 10% more damage than the usual melee in PvP and 50% more in PvE. Also, the sword has slightly improved range. Now, your melee with this subclass is known as the normal hunter's knife. You have the normal hunter's knife, but you do have the added benefit for the second charge to be used as the sword, which we'll get into that momentarily with a certain perk. Teleporter grenades. Your teleport where the grenade lands, and you deal damage and area effect of 2 360-degree spins with your sword, which would actually be similar to the Void exotic sword in the game currently, except it would obviously be a grenade ability instead. Then we've also got the sword counter, which after parrying you would deal 3 times the sword's damage, and it would one hit in PvP. Quite potent against high tier PvE foes as well. Then we've got Slay and Pray. Gives you a sword combo. You first have to melee with an uncharge, would actually be unchanged, which is usually just the hunter knife. Then the next melee would already be performed with your sword, followed by all of the other ones after that, which, however it goes, there is some things in PvP that would have to change to make it look normal. PvE would also, prolonged melee encounters would have to look less goofy and more effective and somewhat rewarding due to the charging of your abilities. Then we've got shield. It is a fundamental part of your melee charge. The shield is activated when holding R1 and can be held up to 1.2 seconds. Blocks only melees, maybe even a shoulder charge, maybe. Now, that would also be nice to be able to block a shoulder charge, because if you see a Titan running at you and they're shining and they're glowing, you know they've got that shoulder charge. You might want to pull up your shield really quickly to block it, if that was possible. Now, the Aegis grenade is holding L1, gives you a shield bubble similar to the one that's known for the Vault of Glass. Triggering it pushes foes away from you and also closes in damage, causing damage to the enemies. Neither shots nor foes can enter your Aegis. Last for 4 seconds until you release L1 or its tanked damage, 80% of what would be enough to kill a Guardian. Only limited movement while holding the shield up, which is really nice. It actually allows that you can break the shield, you can break the Aegis grenade shield and the protection from it. It just takes a little bit of damage, 80% of what it would take to kill you, which is, it seems pretty fair. It seems reasonable and reliable in PvP. It allows you to protect yourself, and obviously you won't be able to fire if you're protecting yourself because you'll be using the Aegis and you won't be able to fire anyway. We've also got shield counter. After parrying, you deal an AoE damage effect around you. Not enough to one-hit a full health Guardian in PvP. In PvE, it could take out a bunch of thralls. That's a nice little thing to use. Then we've got better use for it. Any parry lets you steal ammo from your opponent. Very useful in PvP. Regarding the special ammo situation, you get more, they have less. In PvP, it would be rather random what you get. In PvE, it would rely on enemy type and tier. Thrall would be primary, Vandal primary or special, Major Knight or Ultra, special or heavy. Really nice ideas, and now we can move on to the actual ability of looking at the perk tree. And as you can see, this is the perk tree for the new Hunter subclass from HStego. And I give him a round of applause. It looks like a solid perk tree, looks really well made, and as you can see, you see the green orb off to the right, showing that it's a Decay subclass. And I would also have to congratulate HStego. If you guys find HStego's page on the Bungie forums and actually find a Titan version of this, like the Warlock that we've seen earlier on the episodes, and also this Hunter that we've seen, we do want to go over the Decay Titan, so if you find information on that, please let me know in the comment section. If you think any of these have to be changed, let me know that as well down in the comment section of this video. But again, Guardians, this video is all done. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, drop a like, leave some comments, share it with your friends, and again, Guardians, I will see you all in the next video.